Hello, I'd like to talk about the apartment costs in Seoul, Korea. A lot of Koreans live in apartments now. It's probably the most common type of residence, but it's difficult to get one in Korea. Why? Because there's a high demand and a low supply. In other words, there is a shortage of apartments in Korea, and the phenomenon is serious in Seoul, the capital city of Korea, whose population is more than 10 million. The cost of apartments range depending on a lot of factors such as the size, the floor, and the outskirts, but it was revealed that the city in which you're living makes a big difference in the price as well. Here you're looking at the famous Tower Palace. As you can guess from the name, only a few people like the celebrities can afford this beautiful apartment. It's now the symbol of high apartment costs in Seoul. Since those who can afford expensive apartments are few, the rest are struggling to get so-called my home. It's becoming harder and harder for an average person to buy even a very small apartment in Seoul because the costs are increasing every year. The rise of the cost is amazing. As you can see in the graph from 2005 to 2007, they have jumped to a surprising point. This year, the average price of Seoul apartment per pyong, which is about 3.3 square meters, has exceeded 5 million won. With the increase of apartment costs, the time needed of an average worker to buy a 32 pyong apartment in Seoul has also increased. The graph shows the comparison between the number of months needed at the start of the year 2006 and at the end of the year, the first one for Seoul in an average, the second for Gangnam, and the third for non-Gangnam. Wow, so we can see that it's a serious problem in Seoul. Of course, there are other cities in Korea with high apartment costs, but it's nothing compared to what the citizens of Seoul are going through. Only 1/4 of the time needed to get an apartment in Seoul is taken in Busan, the second largest city in Korea. The conditions are similar in other cities. So it's clear that Seoul is one of the highest ranking cities of having high prices for apartments along with New York City and Tokyo.